So here's the exciting part when we talk about acing the in-person interview. So one of the things that we talked about earlier, and I just want to reiterate it again, is you've got to do your research. You've got to know the company that you're going to, the people that you're meeting with, and quite frankly, just double check if the company name, sometimes the company name is so unusual that you may not even be able to pronounce it right. We had one young lady, when she went in for her interview, she mispronounced the name of the company when she was talking to the receptionist. And that came up. It was like, you know, the hiring manager called me 15 minutes afterwards and go, that wasn't a good song. That was a pretty short interview. He goes, she mispronounced the name of the interview. My secretary came in. I talked with her for about 5 or 10 minutes and I cut her loose because she didn't know the name of the company. So you want to make sure you understand how to pronounce the name of the company before you walk in the interview, and that's part of your research step. But I will tell you, your interview starts the morning of your interview. You want to make sure that you have brushed your teeth, you've cleaned, you've taken a shower, you're clean, you've got good, sharp, appropriate clothes to wear. You don't want to smoke, you don't want to vape, particularly because they're not good health habits, but certainly not before an interview, because if you show up for an interview, again, I had a candidate showed up for an interview and the guy said, he called me up 15 minutes after the hour and said, Pat, I hate to tell you, this candidate's a no-go. And I was like, why? And he said, I was sitting in my office and the smoke arrived before he did. He said it was so bad, I couldn't even take him back and introduce him to my team. So he lost the interview on the way to the interview because it was smoking the whole time. So no smoking, no vaping, no chewing gum. Don't chew gum in an interview. You know, get rid of it and then relax and get ready. So one of the things about the interview is it does matter how early you show up. Never be late. Never be late. So if you're going to go to an interview, particularly the further the distance away from your house it is, you need to allow more and more time because you might get stuck in traffic. You want to try to target to allow yourself to show up at the interview at least 15 to 20 minutes beforehand. If you get there a little bit early, you can sit in the parking lot, but you don't want to show up too late. So you get there 15 minutes before. Now, one of the things that I do is I use a little notebook, and the reason why it's my security blanket. I take it with me even when I'm going to do a cold call with the company. I have my security blanket. It's got a notepad, pencil, place for your resume, down here for your business card. I even have a spot right here for my Starbucks card. And you know, sometimes if I show up at a company unannounced and I'm going in, it's not really an interview at that point. I'll just say, hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee? And they'll go, sure. And you just go at the end of the time that you're talking to them, you just slide it over there. It's got $6 on a Starbucks card. And they go, oh, well, thanks. And so you can say, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I bought you a cup of coffee. So when your interview, again, it starts when you get there. Be sure to find the place. You might need to leave yourself for 15 minutes again. Some places have security, so you have to log in and get past security. You want to get up, you want to be ready in the room where you need to be at the right time. So give yourself 15 minutes to make sure that you can get lost, you found it, you get caught in traffic. Then go to the restroom, check yourself, make sure you're kind of groomed well, go ahead and take a leak if you need to or whatever. And then you're ready. Some people say, you know, do a power pose and kind of make sure you look good, and you kind of do the Batman pose or something to kind of get your energy up. Other people will pray. Other people kind of quietly center themselves. Whatever it takes for you to kind of say, okay, I'm putting everything else aside. I'm going to be present, and I'm going to focus on this interview. Then when you walk into the office, you want to go in, you want to introduce yourself to the secretary. If there's not someone, you want to just sit down and just kind of wait, or maybe you can walk down a hallway and say, hey, I'm here, and I'm here to meet Joe Smith. And you always want to know who you're interviewing with. Again, you've done your research, so you should know that. And then you're ready to go. While you're there, if he says, well, they're going to bring him down for a few minutes, you can do idle chat with the secretary or the receptionist. But remember, That's part of the interview. The interview started when you pulled into the parking lot. So you want to have a nice conversation. You want to maybe look at photos on the wall. You might look at coffee, something that's on the coffee table there while you're waiting. You just want to be present, but you also maybe learn something about the firm, or you see a photo and you go, oh, that's something that's interesting. So when the person comes in, you want to give them a nice firm handshake. You want to look them straight in the eye. You want to say, I'm so excited to be here. And you try not to be nervous. And if you're prepared, you're not going to be as nervous. And so you want to have a little bit of detachment from the outcome. It's your job just to show up and do the best you can during that interview. So you're going to walk in, you're going to sit down, and before even when you walk in, you kind of walk in, and you sit down, and you just go, hey, I saw that I heard that Georgia won their football game. What'd you think about that? Or something that's relevant that that they know something about, so you may know that they're a sports fan, or hey, did you see the Braves game last night, or whatever it is. You want to kind of start the interview by breaking the ice and asking them a question that gets them talking. And so you want to give it, if you can, kind of control that very first. You don't want to just walk in, sit down, and not say anything. So you want to kind of make it light, and so you can ask those kind of questions that you might have relevant between the two of you that that they might know something about. So anything that's a current event or whatever, just say, hey, did you see this, or did you hear about that, or whatever? Did you see Tiger Woods yesterday? It could be anything. But something you want to ask a question to get them talking kind of, takes all the nerves out of the office and kind of gives you a chance to let them talk. Because as long as they're talking, that's a good thing, because you're listening and you're also paying attention to what's going on, and you're learning the vibe of the office, and you're learning about them, and you're trying, quite frankly, it's an interview. Now, an interview, the dynamics are a little unusual. Sometimes they're looking at you trying to figure out, well, are they good enough to come work for us? But if you've done it right, and if you've done the DIY program, they may already have enough information that when they're bringing you in, they're looking at you with, how are we going to convince you to come join our team? And so they're actually more in a recruiter mode. So that's where you really want to be. And you're kind of looking at it from the perspective of, do I want to work with these guys? Is this the person I want to hang out with for the next 5 to 10 years? Or is this someone you're just like, no, he's not resonating with me? So it goes both ways, right? You're looking to see if this is the right fit for you, and they are trying to look and see if it's the right fit for them. Now, again, we also want to remember the most important time in an interview is the first 30 seconds. So when they say, hey, tell me something about yourself, you want to have practiced that line, whether it's, man, I'm so excited to be here. I've heard so many great things about your firm, and I know that you've got a new project coming up at the airport, and I've been waiting years and years. This is my dream job. I'm so excited about it. So one of the things you want to do is lean forward a little bit and bring positive energy. The reason why, listen, you can't accept a job offer if it's never made, right? You can't. If they don't make you an offer, you can't accept it. So you want to go into the interview 110% committed. This is the dream job. It's the most excited. I'm going to work hard to be prepared. I'm going to show up and give 110%. And while you're in the interview, you want to bring all your positive energy to that interview. And you want to tell them, look, I want this job. Now, after they, as they tell you more about the job, the shine might start wearing off a little bit on the apple. And you might go, okay, this isn't the job. But you still want to keep your energy up. You still want to be excited. You still want to be properly, ready to go and ask all the right questions through that process of the interview. Now, when you get near the end of the interview, you also want to make sure that you do the exit right. So you say, hey, thanks so much for your time. I'm really excited. Can you tell me what the next steps are in the interview process? And they'll tell you, oh, we'll get back with you, next week or whatever. And you say, great. Ask them for their business card as well. If there's 2 or 3 people, say, hey, can I get a copy of your business card? The reason why is you want to be able to have their address so you can write them a thank you note afterwards. Handwritten, yes, you could send an email and that's fine, but writing a handwritten thank you note is always important as well. And the reason why, good manners never go out of style. So write them a thank you note. It's a terrific way to kind of also let them know, hey, that you enjoyed the time with them and you're excited about the job. So that's it for the interview. There's dozens of other questions that you can look up as far as, what's the most important questions you need to ask or be prepared for. Tell me about yourself. What's the biggest win you ever had? What's how you overcame obstacles? All of those typical questions, we have a sample of them here in the course. You want to practice those and be prepared for them. You can even have your top 10 questions here on your notebook, and you can just go, you can kind of review it before you walk into your interview. So that's the in-person interview, and there's great tips and tricks on that we've included here for you, but you can find the right solution for you and what feels right for you by doing your homework and preparing. So that's how you ace the in-person interview. In the next section, we're going to talk about the next little step is during that interview or maybe shortly after, how to negotiate the offer. So let's take a look at that.